Alright guys, so I am back from vacation, which is why I have not been uploading videos for the last week or so. I got a request from one of my subscribers from Toronto. Hello! I am here to answer your question about how to study for RCM History. First thing you need is the theory syllabus. We are looking at history. It's page 27. They're sort of trying to change the level names, you could say. Grade 3 history is history 1, grade 4 history is history 2, and grade 5 history is history 3. What they do is they list an overview of what you will be tested on. Terms, they're going to give you composers, works, and the related genres and terms that you need to know. Now, you see how there's like bolded ones? So the bolded ones are the ones that you need to know the history about, okay? So you don't need to know Vivaldi's life, but you need to know Handel's life. For this one, grade 3 history was an overview, but now it's Middle Ages, Renaissance, and Baroque, I think. Read all of this, okay? I know it looks boring, but if you read all of it, trust me, you'll be like, oh my god, I know how to do this. This is how you study. You look at the piece and you find the piece in your textbook and then you write it down. That way when you're studying, you can just refer to the syllabus. When you get to like grade 5 history, which is history 3, you'll get Canadian music in the 20th century. This stuff does not show up in your textbook. So you need to go online. There's some pretty awesome websites you can go to. Make sure you read this bottom bit. Candidates should also be prepared to discuss the careers, contribution, and repertoire of 4 of the following Canadian performers and or performing groups, okay? Pick 4, okay? Don't skip through this. I think this makes up like 10% of the exam, so it's a good way to get a few more marks if you feel like you missed a couple beforehand. This is the textbook that I used. I think they come out with a new version like every year. This is the 9th edition, The Enjoyment of Music. It is so heavy and it is so expensive. It's like $100, but it is very useful for this. Okay, let's just take this one, yeah? So violin concerto in E minor, and I looked it up. Now, how did I look it up? Well, here in the front, they actually have like the pieces written here. See? Dun, 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 right there. Felix Mendelssohn Violin Concerto in E minor, first movement, page 154, which is what I wrote down here. So this will make studying so much easier. Do that for most of the pieces. If you can't find the pieces, go online. Wikipedia is awesome to find this stuff out. Terms. Let's take bel canto. So first you want to find out what it means. Let's see if it's in the glossary. Give me the glossary. Bel canto. Beautiful singing. Elegant Italian vocal style characterized by florid melodic lines delivered by voices of great agility, smoothness, and purity of tone. Now, oh, that's great, right? But like, what does that have to do with all that stuff in that history time, right? So now, what you want to do is go to the index. There we go! Bingo! Go to page 170 to 171. Here we are, page 170. See? Bel canto. Read around it, like read that whole section to really get a feel of what you're reading about. Then you'll know what bel canto is, what time period it's from, and what pieces used it. This is what you do when you're studying, okay? When you're going for lessons, it's a different thing. They actually systematically teach it to you. But this is when you're studying. That's how you find things out if you forgot what it meant. I had another question about which textbooks I used, so there's this one. Another one that was very useful. This one! A history of Western music. Burkholder, Grout, and Poliska. Look how much more academic that looks like. Whoa, scary! Actually, it's not really. The language here is a lot more complex than this one. This one I used for UBC, for the University Music History courses. This one I used for RCM. But sometimes, especially for grade 5 history, I had to look in here. And same thing, use the glossary and use the index. If you are really gung-ho about it, you can buy this, but this is another more than $100. What you really need if you're only doing RCM is this one. Get the latest edition. There's probably like 12 editions out. Now, the other thing is, do practice exams. I treat them as my workbook. RCM examinations, blah, 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 blah. If you have an awesome private tutor, that person will actually mark it for you. Or if you want to, you can actually submit it. You have to like mail it in or something like that. And they'll get you your marks like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual exam. Each exam is slightly different. Sometimes they'll name random people and you have to know which composer they're related to. If you're like, what? You look it up in the index. Awesome. Now you gotta keep in mind, this is 20 marks, okay? If you miss like 3, that's only 3 marks off, so it's not that bad. Sometimes they'll get you to like circle one little term that doesn't belong with the rest of the terms, right? So exposition, recapitulation, and development. Stretto is a fugue thing, so it doesn't belong in the whole sonata form thing. I knew that, but I was too lazy to like write it out. Name a composition, so like an oratorio by Haydn. A lot of times they'll get you to write a term out and write out a piece that is associated with that term. Either they'll give you the definition or you have to define it. Select 2 of the following works. Do the 2 that you know the most. So like actually when you're studying, right? You do have to know a lot of stuff. The thing is, there is room to accidentally forget stuff and still ace the exam. Title, composer, era, form. They'll give you an excerpt and they're like, okay, so which one was that piece? How do you know what it sounds like or what it looks like, right? So let me just show you in the book. Okay, here we go. Random piece. So this is Palestrina Pope Marcellus Mass. You see how they give you like a little excerpt? That excerpt, if they're testing you on it, will appear here. You'll like recognize it, okay? You don't have to like have perfect pitch and like memorize how it sounds and go, oh, that's it. And then this is the fun part. 10 marks each, and it's like a sort of like a paragraph essay thing. I'm saying it's not an essay because it's not the kind of essays that we have to write for university. They're more like really long paragraphs that you have to have 10 major points. Say you choose Carmen. Okay, describe one of the following works in detail. You have to write out 10 specific things about Carmen. So that includes like who's the composer, when was it written, what. So now you guys are probably thinking, why did the lighting completely change? Well, the battery died again. Life, career, and musical style of one of the following composers: Mozart or Beethoven. You should probably know them anyway. Discuss the musical style and contributions of 2 of the following composers: Debussy, Stravinsky, and Alexander Louis. Alexander Louis is a Canadian composer. The other ones are not. Here's some other examples. Here are random pieces, and here are descriptions of the random pieces, and you match them. More terms and defining. So you have to pick the correct definition, and then you have to write an example of a title. So as you can see, it's a lot of matching, a lot of definitions, a lot of knowing what composers have done, what composers have composed, and what was their life like, knowing random pieces. If you don't know all the random pieces, it's okay, you'll still pass. Oh my god, look, I spelled Carmen wrong. That is so funny. What the heck was I thinking? I must have been doing this at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Thunder Dragon. I've never heard of that. And I've never heard of Distant Memories. So in this case, I would probably do a 5-point paragraph on the Well-Tempered Clavier. You see how we've seen this before? Okay, so if you just do a bunch of exams, you'll get the hang of it, and then it'll be easy peasy. I did the 2005 edition. I also did some 2006 edition. Oh, here's some of my marked ones. Maybe you guys want to take a look at that. See, look, it's not a proper essay. It's just one long paragraph. There's no like formal intro, body, conclusion. You just need to get a whole bunch of points down and then like you'll be fine. More matching. Random phrases. There you go. Now look that up in the index. Just get used to taking these things. If you get used to it, nothing is really gonna surprise you. You'll notice that there's a pattern, like there's some things that each exam will test you on. After a while, you'll just know it just by like looking it up all the time in the textbook. You'll just learn it. I don't think I need to show you guys anymore. Ooh, I got 96 on this one. So each exam takes about 2.5 or 3 hours, something like that. It's not a huge deal. Use the syllabus, use the index and glossary of your textbook, enjoyment of music, do a whole bunch of practice exams, and you're pretty much good to go. I mentioned that sometimes you need to go on the internet, right? Okay, so Wikipedia is one place to go. Another place is the Canadian Encyclopedia. The Canadian Encyclopedia online will give you a lot of information on various Canadian composers. So now I have mine open to Murray Schafer, and my battery is running low. So there you go. Go to the Canadian Encyclopedia. So my battery is dying. I need to go. I will see you in the next video. Bye.